Welcome dear audience, students and scholars. Here I am Dr. Amjad Ali. In this video we will learn about simple regression. Dear scholars, regression is considered one of the main tool of empirical analysis in social management and behavioral sciences, and sometimes natural sciences also use regression for their empirical analysis when they specifically find the relationship between two or more variable. So in this video we will learn about the definitions, different definitions of econometrics and formulation of econometrics, and somehow the empirical interpretation of regression. Specifically we are following the introductory econometric for finance, which is written by Chris Brooks. Okay, introduction to regression. The term regression was first introduced by an English biometrician, Sir Francis Galton. Actually, Galton wants to find the relationship between the height of children and between the height of their parents. So he wants to check that either tall parents have tall children and small heighted parents have a small heighted children. So Galton analyzed the height of children and their parents. So here he is using height of children as a dependent variable and height of parents as an independent variable. So he found that the average height of children tend to step back or to regress towards the average height of all men. So this is technically called regression at the time of the Galton, where he actually find the relationship between the height of children and height of their parents. Okay, what is a regression model? Here a more important thing, that regression analysis is almost certainly the most important tool at the econometrician disposal. And our main concern is what is a regression analysis. In a very general term, regression is concerned with describing and evaluating the relationship a given variable and one or more other variable. More specifically, regression is an attempt to explain movement in one variable by reference to movement in one or more other variable, which we normally call dependent variable and independent variable. Okay, to make this more concrete, denotes that variable whose movement the regression seeks to explain by y. We are called it y here. Y is normally denoted as dependent variable, and the variable which are used to explain those variation by x1 and x2, which is normally known as explanatory variable, independent variables. Hence, in this relatively simple setup, it would be said that variation in k variables like x1, x2, so on, xk, causes changes in some other variable y, which is we normally known as a dependent variable. So this is technically called a regression analysis or regression model. Modern definition of regression: the dependence of one variable, which is known as dependent variable, on one or more other variable, which are normally known as independent variable, is known as regression. The relationship between the expected value of the dependent variable and the independent variable is called regression. The dependent variable is assumed to be a random variable, whereas independent variable are assumed to have fixed value, that is, they are chosen non-randomly. Simple. There are two main types of regression which are extensively discussed in Chris Brooks' book, which we are follow for simple regression analysis. That is simple regression and multiple regression. When we have a simple regression, there is a straight line relationship, there is a linear relationship, and we have a positive, negative, and sometimes no relationship between the variables. And when we are talking about the sometimes the multiple regression is also found this type of relationship, straight line, linear, positive, and negative. And there is another relationship that is curvilinear, non-linear relationship. It may be positive, negative, and sometimes no relationship. Our simple regression or multiple regression follow these two types of relationship, simply linear and non-linear relationship. Okay, names for y and x in a regression analysis. Name for y and x. Normally, I told you that the y is known as dependent variable and x is known as independent variables. Okay, dependent variable, we call the dependent variable as a regressor and independent variable as a regressor, effect variable and causal variable, explained variable and explanatory variable. Explanatory variable interpretation is normally, you can say that, extensively used in Chris Brooks' book. Okay, when we are actually find the relationship between the one independent variable and other one dependent variable, we have to first draw a scatter diagram. If you have a two variable data, then you have to draw in the scatter diagram, and if there is any type of trend or relationship can be assumed, then we can move towards the further analysis. So the first step in finding whether or not a relationship between two variables exists is to plot each pair of independent and dependent observation. Like we have xi, yi, and here I is the number of observation, 1, 2, 3, so on, depending upon the selected data. And x-axis has been used for the independent variable. Keep in mind that normally in regression analysis we use x-axis for the independent variable and y-axis for the dependent variable. Okay, such a diagram is called a scatter diagram or scatter plot. Let's draw a scatter plot here. We have x-axis and we have a y-axis. Okay, if we have a x and y value and we put a dot here and we put a dot here, we put the dots here. So this is technically called a scatter plot or scatter diagram. So if the relationship between the variable exists, then points in the scatter diagram will show a tendency to cluster around a straight line or some curve. Such a line or curve around which the point cluster is called a regression line or regression curve, which can be used to estimate the expected value of the random variable y from the values of the non-random variable x. Let's say we have this from the previous slide. This is our scatter diagram, and here we have to draw a line here. So see here, most of the dotted line are near to the estimated line, and when the most of the dotted line are near to any straight line or any curve, so we can say that there is a relationship between x and y. So if this type of graphical presentation can be found, then we can find further empirical analysis of regression analysis. So here we have empirical analysis of simple regression. So more important, you have to know the formulation of regression analysis, because here we are following the Chris Brooks introductory econometric for finance. So formulations are not given. So if you want to learn the formulation of the simple regression, so type on simple regression formulation and alpha and beta in my YouTube channel. You will find, or you can directly go to this link. You will find the all formulation of all parameters of regression analysis. And for the empirical example, there are although Chris books follow extensive empirical analysis, but for the simple understanding of the empirical analysis, you have to follow empirical example, which is also given on my channel, that empirical analysis of simple regression. You type on my channel empirical analysis of simple regression, or you can open this link for understanding the empirical analysis of simple regression. Okay, simple linear regression model. When we assume that the linear relationship between the dependent variable and value of independent or explanatory variable, this can be written in the form of this equation. We can write it yi is equal to a plus bxi plus u. So here see, we have linear variable xi and yi. If we found that either x has a power, either y has a power, then we can interpret it as a non-linear variable. But here we have only linear variables x and y. So here we have xi are the fixed or predetermined values, or you can say that independent variables, and y are the observation randomly drawn from a population. Here we can say that dependent variable. And here we have a ui or error components, or random deviation, or sometime you can call it a error term or a residual term at the same time. And here we have a, and sometimes we will write it alpha is the intercept coefficient or constant, and b, sometimes we write it a beta is the slope coefficient. It may be positive or negative. So this is our simple linear regression model, the writing style of simple linear regression model. Okay, here we have another topic of simple regression discussion, deterministic and non-deterministic relation models. The linear relationship in some situation is not an exact. When we are following mathematical relationship between the variables, the math normally presents exact relationship. There is no chance of minute error, or you can say a simple error. So in regression analysis, we find not an exact relationship, like a person weight and height, taste and your behavior, they all changes at a very time. So we cannot find an exact relation among the variable all the time. So while estimating such variable, it is better to include measurement of errors. Here we have y is equal to a plus bxi plus ei. Here we know that y is dependent variable, is intercept or constant, and b is the slope, and x is independent variable, and here we have e is the error term, which shows that there is not an exact relationship between the regression model. So EI are the unknown random error, which I explained in the previous slide, that we call it a residual or error components. So in such condition, relationship is inexact. It is called non-deterministic or probabilistic relationship or model. So keep in mind that when we find a population relationship, we are covering the whole population, so technically this is called a deterministic relationship. And when we cannot cover the whole population and giving the policy to the whole population, so technically this is called the non-deterministic relationship or model. Okay, here we see that we've put a error term. In previous slide we also put a error term. So here we have some reasons for the inclusion of disturbance term or error term in regression model. Even in the general case where there is more than one explanatory variable, some determinant of y will always in practice be omitted from the model. This might, for example, cause the number of influences on y is too large to place in a single model, or because some determinants of y may be unobservable or not measurable. Okay, there may be errors in the way that y is measured which cannot be modeled. Okay, there are bound to be random outside influences on y that again cannot be modeled. For let's say we have for example a terrorist attack, a hurricane, or a computer failure could affect the financial asset return in a way that cannot be captured in a model and cannot be forecast reliably. Similarly, many researchers would argue that human behavior has an inherent randomness and predictability. If you are measuring the unpredictability, if you are measuring the behavior of some persons, so it may change at one point, it may not change on the other point. So that randomness or that unpredictability urges us to include the error term in the model. Let's say we have so here we have a estimated regression line. So see, most of the actual point are near to the estimated regression line, but the distance between this line and this line and this point and this point and this line, so this technically presents the error. This is technically present the error. Note that the vertical distances are usually minimized rather than the horizontal distance are those taken perpendicular to the line. So see, we are minimizing the distance between this line and this point. So when we minimize the distance between the expected and estimated and actual, then we can say that our regression model is good fit, which will be discussed in coming lectures. Okay, population versus sample regression. Okay, according to the population regression model, each y is an observation from a normal distribution with a mean is equal to alpha or a plus b beta xi, and here we have a variation. So variance. So normally we can write the variance like that. Okay, this relationship can be expressed as expected value of y is equal to a plus bx, and the expected value of y is linearly related to x, and the observed value of y deviates from the line, or you can say that the expected value of y is equal to a plus bxi, bx, or you can say alpha plus beta by a random components u. Here we have the error term, that is ui is equal to yi minus into a plus bxi. So here we find a error term that is actual minus estimated. So normally sometime in coming videos we will write it and estimated. Okay, but in real world data of whole population is not available sometime, then the decision is made on a sample. The regression equation become as yi is equal to a plus bxi plus ei. So see here, when we are talking about the population regression, we cannot normally include the error term, but when we are talking about the sample regression, we include the error must. The estimated regression line can be written now as estimated y. Here we have a y hat is equal to a plus bxi. So when we draw the population regression line graphically, we find this type of regression line. So see here we have a expected value of y is equal to a plus bxi. This is for the population point of view. But when we are talking about sample case, so in sample case we have a hair point, 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 and we draw a straight line here. So this is our estimated, because in population we are in a position to express the exact relationship between the variables, but in a sample case we cannot estimate the exact relationship. We rely on a non-deterministic relationship between the variable, so that's why we call it an estimated regression line, and we denote it a y hat. Whereas for the population case, we write it the expected value of y is equal to alpha plus beta x. So regression versus correlation. Here we have an interesting topic, regression versus correlation. The correlation between the two variables measure the degree of linear association between them. If it is stated that y and x are correlated, it means that y and x are being treated in a completely symmetrical way. Thus, it is not implied that change in x causes a change in y, or in you can say that indeed that change in y causes a change in x. Okay, rather it is a simple or simply stated that there is evidence for a linear relationship between the two variables, and that movement in two are on an average related to an extent given by the correlation or correlation coefficient. In regression, the dependent variable and the independent variable are treated very differently. The y is assumed to be a random or stochastic variable, and x sometimes treated as a you can say that non-random variable. So in the same way you can say that we have a probability distribution relationship. So then the x variables are however assumed to be fixed, non-stochastic, to have a repeated sample regression as a tool and more flexible and more powerful than the correlation. So simply here we can say that in correlation point of view, so here in the correlation point of view there is no concept of independent and dependent variable, and in regression analysis we must have a dependent variable and independent variable, then we find the relationship between the variable. So in a simple way, correlation shows the degree of association, degree of relationship between the two variables, but regression shows the relationship, and regression sometimes may be multiple or simple, but the correlation only shows the relationship between the two variables. So this is all about the simple regression, its formulation somehow, and its interpretation somehow, and the difference between the correlation and regression. So see you with another video. Ciao.